I'm Rudul Shah. I'm VP of Marketing at Tipalti. Reut, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hey everybody, my name is Reut. I'm a Senior Director of Product at Tipalti.
Yeah. And I'm Matt or Jaku, CEO and founder of Crowd Control.
Wonderful. Before we get into the topic at hand, I wanted to spend a few minutes just giving you guys an overview of Tipalti. Some of you may have heard my spiel like an hour ago, but those that are new to this session, we've been around for 14 plus years, and Tipalti Mass Payments particularly is a flagship product focused on helping gamers and businesses make global payouts for their community, which could be creators, affiliates. Essentially, if you think about everything that is entailed in making global payouts, that could be cross-border payments, FX, tax compliance, integration with your technology stack. We take care of all of that. That way you focus on what is most important, which is your experiences that you want to deliver for your customers. So that's basically Tipalti in a nutshell. We help businesses and gamers all the way from like early stage all the way to enterprises. We started working with many of these big names you see here, like Roblox and Activision, when they were much smaller in scale, and they essentially grew with us. So yeah, that's Tipalti in a nutshell. We have a booth downstairs if you want to learn more. With that, I would love to get Reut share a bit more about how do we make our experiences for developers particularly easy, so that from integration perspective and the experiences perspective.
Thank you, Model. Can we move to the next slide? So Model spoke about the Tipalti experience, but we are really trying to be developer-centric. We understand the needs, and one of the main things that we are concentrating on, first of all, a customized iframe. You guys need to onboard your streamers or your game developers. We want you to have a good experience. We want you to get like your colors, your fonts, and I've been talking for a minute and I haven't said AI just yet. So we're using AI. We have an AI brand generator that you can take screenshots of your website and create an onboarding flow with your colors, your fonts, your shape of the button, so it will feel exactly like your website. The second thing is global. Most of your streamers and game developers are not just based in the US, and we want to adhere to that. So we have many payment methods, we have many currencies. Like Myrtle said, we're really about globalization and support all kinds of providers in all countries. And the last thing is REST API. So a fun fact about me, I started my career as a developer and I worked in a few startups. And as a developer, when I need a new product, when I need a new integration, I don't just want to have endless demos and a long sales cycle. What I want to get like a really good documentation with many examples. I want to have a support team that I know that I can reach out to. And this was our mindset when we built our REST API capabilities. We have an average implementation time of a week or two. We had like 2 customers that just did it over the weekend. We really invested in our documentation platform. We really invested in all of the capabilities that we have so we can provide the best and easiest way to implement. So let's talk about our APIs.
Next slide.
Basically, your flow as gaming companies, what you need is you need to pay your gamers, you need to pay your streamers or your game developers, and we want to help you with that. And we want to give you all the control. So you can onboard your fees on your platform, and later on you want to pay them. And we even have the capabilities of self-billing if you're using an ERP and you need to have the data there. These are all happen on your platform. And behind the scenes, we have a REST API. You can send an invitation to your payee. You can create, you can update, you can change the payment method. When you want to pay, you can pay a single payment. You can create a payment batch. And I can stand here for another hour or two and talk about our APIs. But instead of doing that, I'll just let Matt, that just recently implemented our REST API, to introduce it. But first, maybe talk about crowd control.
Yeah, would love to talk about crowd control, but before I do that, actually, and we didn't talk about this earlier, but Tipalti takes care of the boring stuff for you. Like, I don't want to deal with payments. It's complicated. You were talking about the taxes. nobody wants to do that stuff. Tipalti takes care of it for you. And I think that's a big sell and a big value add.
We handle it.
Yeah. Like you guys handle that and I don't want to touch it. I want to work on games like you guys. So Tipalti handles the boring stuff.
That's exactly what we want to do for you and other emerging gaming platforms. I think this is a great slide. These are the three key things: onboard your pays, pay your pays, create an invoice. Like we take care of everything that is underneath. I think this is a good segue into Matt. If you want to talk a little bit about crowd control.
Yeah, so if you don't know what crowd control is, it's a integration in your games that allows viewers that are watching streams on Twitch, YouTube, TikTok to influence the game. So we allow streamers to let their audiences send power-ups, kill them, troll them in any sort of way. It's monetized so that creators are making thousands of dollars using crowd control, and your game's getting played for hours on hours with people seeing very unique interactions where they're then going to be sharing those clips out onto the socials. And so it just makes the game replayable and very easy and organic to grow. We currently support about 170 games, some retro and some newer, but we've been growing. We've been doing it for about 7 years. And we actually implemented Tipalti in 2023 when we launched our 2.0 of our product. I actually learned about Tipalti at GDC 2023 when I was looking exactly for this type of company. And Zach, who's in the crowd, he just so happened to be at the booth and he sold me on it. And it was exactly what I needed at the time.
That's wonderful. Matt, would love to learn a bit more about, you talked about, could you share like what made you choose Tipalti? I'm sure you have considered maybe other comparable products out there.
Yeah, we're not going to name the competitors, but I looked at all the offerings. For me, before I did games, I did information security. I hacked companies for a living, so security was a big kind of requirement there. And Tipalti's been around for a while. They got security tested. They're pretty legit on that. So that was one big selling point. The other, and I just learned this the other day, but Tipalti means we take care of it, and like hearing that was really reassuring to me because with payments, I didn't want our creators to have any issues. For a lot of the creators, that's how they make their living. And so if their payments are missed, they're angry at me and their life is in disarray. And I didn't want that. And Tipalti assured me that they were going to take care of it. And we've been using them for 2 years now. And I can say every single payment has been made on time. And it's just been a fantastic experience.
And how have you experienced implementing the APIs?
Yeah, so the API development, when we used it, it was brand new. So there was documentation. From what I'm told, we were one of the early customers to adopt the REST protocol, which is a great protocol. Nobody wants to use SOAP. If you know what that is, I'm sorry. If you don't worry. But at the end of the day, the protocol is REST is really easy to use. The documentation was clear. There was plenty of options and ways to kind of develop it, but it worked really well into our ecosystem and our infrastructure. Like I think it took us 2 days to implement.
So you win the 4 days that I remember that we had. What's like the most common APIs that you guys use?
So every time a creator onboards with us, we create a payee with them. So we use that API. We check their status with Tipalti. So when say their tax documents are out of date or their payment didn't go through for whatever reason, you guys have an API for us to be able to see that, and we're able to bring it right up to our users pretty much instantly, and then get them back like onboarded and all set. So we really rely on that because communication's key with our team and our users. We don't want anyone to wonder where's my money. So using those APIs really make it easy for us to let them know where their money is.
Basically removing the friction.
Yeah, removes a lot of the friction.
Well, that's wonderful. I mean, easy to use APIs, documentation is very fundamental. Are there other best practices or some sort of guidance you would have for the developers here as they whether it's Tipalti or in general?
Yeah.
What should they be looking for?
So one of the things, obviously you always want like a sandbox. Tipalti has a sandbox so you can test outside of prod. Nobody wants to test payments on prod because that means you're sending real money. So that's kind of like a requirement for sure. The security implementation to do like it's standard OAuth. Well, standard OAuth with additional security, which is not really normal these days, which is good. I don't remember the exact protocol that it is, but it's an additional step, it's additional key in there for extra security, which is great. Your payees, the two-factor implementation on it as well. That was something I was concerned about because typically you can use your own APIs to go out to request a Tipalti, a link to view their dashboard for their payouts and stuff. But just having access to that link seemed like a security thing, but you guys had implemented a two-factor.
2FA, yeah, of course.
Which
This
was
is a
great.
requirement because you don't want anybody to access and you don't want to be hacked, and we had, yeah.
Yep.
So.
And I having a security background, I'm like, I'm gonna have to go implement this, and then I'm like, oh wait, Tipalti already has it. Again, they had me covered, and it was great.
Wonderful. Anything else, Rayup, you want to ask or add?
No, I actually think you covered it all.
That's great. Thank you, Matt. We appreciate
Yeah, thank
your
you.
time. And it's been great. I mean, you mentioned the revenue doubled since Tipalti.
Yeah, so when we implemented crowd control with Tipalti, we were launching our 2.0 of our product, but since then we've doubled our revenue. And without Tipalti, I don't think we would have been able to do that.
That's great. We are all for growth and scale. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. Thank you. Thank you both.
I will add the nice thing about Tipalti too is I believe that while we're smaller than we are now, or we're small, we're going to grow with you guys, and you're going to be there, and I don't have to change providers.
That's exactly right.
It's like a one-size-fits-all solution.
That's a great point because we do, especially in the game industry, we have companies that started as like a 7-people startup that signed with us. I was here at GDC last year. We had a customer, there were like 7 people, they signed with us, and today like they're more than double in the size of the company, in the size of the revenue, and they're still with us.
Yeah, I don't want to go and have to re-implement something that I've implemented 2 years ago. So the fact that Tipalti is going to grow with me is also reassuring.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you,
if you want to
Matt.
learn more, here is the QR code. Otherwise, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Put